How do you know 1774 is a good date? Good question. You don't. Trickery, trickery, trickery. That's what that is. That's not original. The original frame for the Federal window, Georgian, the Greek Revival, and then the new crap. The height of this is probably only 25, 26 inches, right? Obviously not the code. I'm trying to figure all this out. I'm trying to put this together. And that typical 5-bay orientation, the size of the windows, the form of the house, I'm like, yeah, that's very handsome. That's very typical of that period. And he's saying, well, I want to take it in the Greek Revival era. I'm telling him to take the Georgian route. We're kind of wrestling with that. Hey guys, Brent Hull, Old House Handbook. We're looking at a 1773 historic house in Lexington, Mass. Come join me. So 1773, what happens just a few years from now? The American Revolution. This was a Minuteman's house, okay? One of the 77 Minutemen that faced the British. The British are coming, all that kind of cool American history. His name's inscribed in downtown Lexington, so it's really, really cool history here. Now, this house used to be up on the turn, but when the highway came in, the turnoff, they moved the house back. What we're gonna see when we look at this house is a bunch of different eras and periods and stuff going on in this house and a bunch of different clues. David Supple is a design build architect up here in New England Design Construction. We just did a podcast, so you want to check that out, us walking through and looking at this house. Kind of a fun project here, kind of what does this house want to be? Would I buy it? Would I not buy it? Kind of what's going on. I've been told, okay, that it's a 1774 house built by a Minuteman, right? That was in the American Revolution. I've been told that it got moved from the front of the street and that the barn was original to it, okay? I look at this barn and I go, there's nothing original there. And so what are the things I'm seeing? It's the lanterns, the way they've done the plugs around the outside, just that whole form, the pork chop ends, it's just like, there's nothing old about that in my mind. So then I focus on this house and that typical 5-bay orientation, the size of the windows, the form of the house. I'm like, yeah, that's very handsome. That's very typical of that period. How do you know 1774 is a good date? Good question. You don't, okay? And so you have to look at the form like this portico, this entry is deceiving, okay? Because that's been added later. Pull your eye away from that and kind of go, okay, yeah, that's not original. And so what ends up happening is you end up looking at the small little details and you look for clues. This form, that 5-bay form on a timber framed house in 1774, yes, that's great. That house is there, okay? But all of these other things, that addition on the side and some of the scaling and some of the, that front portico, and I've been inside and kind of looked around, I am now starting to look for clues of what do I go back with? What does this house become? Is it easier to take it into a Greek Revival? Is it easier to make it Colonial Revival? Is it easier to take it back to Georgian? And that's one of the challenges kind of when you're buying and selling and thinking about redoing these houses is whether there's going to be money well spent to try to fix this house up based on kind of what it is and what's left, because it's been changed up quite a bit inside that we'll see. It would take quite a bit of sleuthing, maybe weeks of sleuthing to try to figure out what's original, what isn't, and certainly a visit to a local history person might be able to clear up some of that faster, but that's the kind of digging in we're trying to do. That's what makes this hard, right? I don't look at this and walk up and go, oh my gosh, that's a great colonial house. I don't look that, right? I look at it as like, huh, that's interesting, maybe.